Sometimes I think about Sam Kinison. He's known as he was a comedian in like the mid to late 80s, early 90s. He's pretty wild. Before that, he was a preacher though, like a Pentecostal preacher, something like that. And there's a time in his life when he got into a car accident, and I guess it gave him brain damage. But he got into like a bad divorce with his first wife, and so then he kind of left the church and decided to become a comedian, he was kind of a vulgar comedian. But when he was a pastor, like his brother would say, like he didn't really do it to try to. The way he did it wasn't to really bring in money. It was to kind of, I guess, help people or teach people more than it was to bring in the money, which is commendable. Then he became this kind of raunchy comedian. He joked a lot about bad relationships with women. And as far as the car accident goes, when he got brain damage, it wasn't like severe where he was retarded or anything, but it was kind of like how when Roseanne Barr got into a car accident, like it changed her in a way where she became a comedian. So it was kind of similar to that. But anyways, he lived kind of a wild life as a comedian. He did a lot of drugs. And then in like the early 90s, he got into this car accident in the desert in Nevada, I believe. And then it looked like he got hit by a drunk driver, a kid, like a young kid, 20 something. It was their fault. And he's in some kind of like a Pontiac Trans Am or something. Sam was, not the drunk driver. He was in like a Pontiac Trans Am, a really cool car, with his recently married wife. I think it was his third or fourth wife. And some other guy was in there with him, maybe two other guys. But after the accident, he looked like he was okay. But he actually wasn't. He was severely injured. He's fatally injured internally in his abdomen, something like that. But he looked like he was okay at first. And then he was kind of off to the side, and I forget who was with him, like his friend or his brother or something, that they noticed him. And he started talking, like he was talking to somebody else that was there that wasn't there, like an angel or something like that. And even though he looked fine, he said something like, why now? And then he was like, he waited, like he was listening to what they said, and then he said, but why? Something like that. And then he was like, okay. Like they gave him the right answer. That's how it's told. That always kind of stuck with me. Like he was talking to someone. But like the more I observe myself from the third person and how I talk to myself and how I'm aware while I'm talking to myself, that if I was observing myself even from the future and I wouldn't be able to remember what I was thinking at the time, I'd have no idea. It would seem like I was talking to somebody that might be there, but I'm literally just talking to myself. And the more I've been mulling it over the years, and the more I've been witnessing myself from the third person perspective, I think he was just talking to himself. I know that's less glamorous and it's not as amazing, but I think he was just talking to himself. For what it's worth.